What's going on, party people? Captain Zeus here, and I have another review for you guys, and this one is super late to the party. This is going to be a review over the Disney Plus Star Wars series Tales of the Underworld. Now, if you guys haven't seen it by now, I mean, you're just as behind as I am, but spoiler warning up ahead nonetheless, because I'm going to go into some details about it. And if you like these reviews that we do, please like the video, share, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments below not only your thoughts on the series as a whole, but if you want to see us do any reviews in the future. I'm not going to lie, this show was actually pretty freaking fire. I was super skeptical coming into this because of how bad Tales of the Empire is. Okay, bad might be a bit of an overstatement because the Barris Oppressed story was good until like the last episode. The last episode of the Barris Oppressed story was kind of really not good. And then the second story, I don't even remember the character's name. That's how irrelevant she really was. But she's the character from Mandalorian season 2 who fought Ahsoka with the Beskar staff. Anyways, her story was boring as frick. The only interesting part was to see Thrawn back again, but that was it. However, Tales of the Underworld gave me the hypes and vibes that I wanted from a Tales series after Jedi, because Tales of the Jedi was fantastic. Love the story with it. And the only thing with this one that's different is the fact that both stories hit. The Ahsoka story in Tales of the Jedi was okay. Like, her fight against the Inquisitor was cool, but as a whole, it wasn't that interesting. This one, both stories were extremely interesting and about characters that everybody has wanted to see more on the screen. We're seeing Asajj Ventress, and her story is interesting because I was super confused as to the beginning of the first episode of her story because she seems to be dead, and then Quinlan Vos is like bathing her in the waters of her people with Obi-Wan, and that definitely looks like Clone Wars era Obi-Wan. Like, I don't know, but it definitely looked like it was during the Clone Wars show. So I have no idea as to where that was taking place. Is this related to the Dark Disciple book? I know a lot of people were talking about the Dark Disciple book and its impact on the lore, because if that is the case, that would make that book canon, which is good, because I think we need to start making the books more canon instead of taking these canon books and then re-canonizing them onto TV. I think that's such a dumb thing to do. Like, if there's a book out there that's canon, just keep it in the canon. Anyways, if that is the case, that this story was following like the sequel, if you will, of her Dark Disciple storyline, that makes me want to read the book even more. I haven't read it yet, to be honest, because I've been kind of skeptical if I wanted to, but it definitely got me interested because it seemed like Asajj Ventress was in love with Quinlan just as he was with her, and it seemed more than like a master-disciple relationship and more of like a parental relationship. It seemed like genuine love, but I don't know. Again, I didn't read the book, but I did like her arc because, one, she's queen. Two, her taking on essentially a disciple in the manner that she did, it very much, I don't know, I feel like it not mimics per se, but is reminiscent to how Ezra becomes a apprentice in the Rebels series. It's very similar in that regard, except the only difference is this character that Asajj is taking on is basically he's already been a Jedi. And it also makes me question, when during the timeline does this story take place, because there's nothing ever official. But overall, I mean, it's not like it was anything too crazy. It was a great way to show how Asajj has changed in terms of her philosophies and just as a person. She's grown, she's matured, and she's not all about violence, and she definitely sees and respects the Jedi philosophy more, and it definitely does look like she's gone full circle and gone back to her Jedi roots, hence the yellow lightsaber, which I really did like. And I think we kind of got a little bit of a hint of that in the Bad Batch season 2 where she meets with Omega. And then the Cad Bane story, oh dude, cannot get enough of Cad Bane. Probably one of my favorite Star Wars characters, period. The first episode kind of caught me off guard because I was like, this is like a whole flashback. I have no idea who these characters are until like towards the end where they're like, oh, it's Cad, it's Cade, or it's whatever. But you kind of get the idea that it's Cad because he's blue. But the way that his story progressed, it's, I wouldn't say too cliche, but it's a story that we've seen time and time again. Someone that's lived in the depths of the underworld who grows up into it and becomes exactly what is surrounding it. He becomes the bounty hunter. He becomes a part of the underworld just as smoothly as he was birthed into there. And I did like the revenge story that they did because, one, it showed that Cad has a little bit of honor, but two, it definitely shows not all good guys are good, because his friend, was it Nero? Also, Nero, that's how you know he's the bad guy. His name's Nero. But two, this dude stole his girl and raised his kid while he was in jail. If that's not a villain, I don't don't know what is. Not gonna lie, he's the reason why he got arrested in the first place, and he killed his mentor. If that's not a villain, I don't know what is. I'll be honest with you. Cad was 100% in the right. I was rooting for the guy the whole time. But dude, one thing I wanted to point out about his arc was the soundtrack was fire. I mean, the soundtrack for these animated shows are fantastic. I think it's Kevin Kiner that does the soundtrack. Great composer. But it was so jazzy with the last two episodes, specifically the last one. The last episode, so jazzy. And I was like, dude, I'm a sucker for saxophones. I'm a sucker for some jazz, some little noir jazz. I was like, oh, dude, this is really tickling my funny bone. But it was super good. Love the soundtrack there. Animation peak as always. And honestly, just the story as a whole, it was very much a Western story as a guy who comes to get revenge against the guy that put him in jail. And it's not like these two stories were super complex or had any overarching super huge message. It was very simplistic in nature, and it was so enjoyable, like especially with characters that we've all grown to love throughout the years. So I honestly would say, like, I would rewatch the show again. And each episode's like 13 minutes, so they're not even that short. They should have just made these into movies, though, I'm being completely honest. I don't know why they keep making these into shows. Like, come out with like a Tales like thing, like a show called Tales, but it's just a little 45-minute movie or 45-minute episode, and it's each arc. And then it's like, oh, season 1 was Jedi, season 2 was Underworld, season 3 was, you know what I'm saying? That's how they should have been doing it, because I don't know if they're going to come out with additional seasons for each of the Tales series. I hope they do, because then it would make more sense if they do this, and they should be either longer or have more episodes. But nevertheless, I digress. I would rate the show probably a 9 out of 10. Tales of the Underworld, rating it a 9 out of 10. Fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And it surprised me how short it was, because it felt longer. Like, I was so into the story, I was so into these characters, so into watching it. I actually am super excited for whatever's going to come next from Dave Filoni, because that man's a genius. But nevertheless, what did you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Tales of the Underworld. I'm Captain Zeus. I will catch you guys later. See you.